All right, 4 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday. Not a bad-looking day out there, and I know there's still a lot of cleanup. I know there's like 65,000 people in Marion County without electricity still, millions of people in the state. But right now we want to talk about On Top of the World, see how they did. Robert Colin is in the studio to talk to us about this. Robert is the manager of On Top of the World Communities, and you were just telling us off the air. Good morning, Robert.
Morning, Larry. How are you?
Good. You were just telling us that you personally did not lose electricity.
Right.
You did not lose TV.
Right.
Did you have internet?
I lost that on Monday morning. We still haven't got that back. That's because it's coming. It's a Wi-Fi signal from off of 60th Avenue, and
oh wow!
Yes, but and that went down Monday.
So, in general, how did the community of On Top of the World do?
Well, On Top of the World, structurally, the houses really endured it all really well. I spent all day yesterday driving around. Talking to residents, they had all lost power. All of them had lost power, and that was very stressful, very difficult. But you looked around at the residents' houses, and even with some tree branches on it, the roofs held in there. Some of those older houses, they have the old garage doors that don't have the same wind bracing that the newer ones do. Those survived. I mean, I didn't see any damage to houses,
wow,
even with the tree branches on it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it was really. Actually, you go to the newer neighborhoods, Stonebridge, Providence, any of those neighborhoods we have that are new, and honestly, I didn't even see mulch out of place. I don't know if the residents were out there Monday mornings raking. Or,
yeah, right.
It was just like, wow, those areas are really exposed to wind, and yet, they look perfect.
So do you what's the science behind the survival? I mean, the houses not being damaged. Do you guys use longer nails or something? What?
Well, after Hurricane Andrew was the big thing that changed everything in Florida, right? So Florida. The counties had their own individual codes, and after Andrew, the state said, no, there's going to be a state building code, and of course Miami and Fort Lauderdale had their own even more advanced codes. But as those years advanced, in 2002, the state went to a statewide code, and then they imposed stronger wind restrictions. So the shingles had to be better, the envelope of the house had to be better. If there had gables, there had to be bracing on the gables of the roofs. And those kind of things helped really stabilize the house. And you saw when Charlie and those other storms came through in 2004, they really were... There was less structural damage to houses. As those after even Charlie and 2004, those codes came in. They said 2009 Florida Building Code with a change when you did re-roofs, you had to even bring those up to code. So all the houses that were done after I think it was March 2009, they came in and they said, okay, no more. If you have staples that attached your trusses to your sheeting to your trusses, you now had to go with the 8-penny ring shank nails. So all the roof decks had to be reattached.
Oh wow, okay.
And so any house that was done since 2009, and On Top of the World has a re-roof program every 15 or so years, depending on the life of the roof. So we've re-roofed 1,000 roofs or more since 2009. Those houses really withstood it. So it's the eight penny nails with the ring shanks that were in there, the better shingles that were built, the better windows, and a lot of people have replaced their windows over the years, and those have endured. As I think current windows are something like 150 mile an hour winds they can endure. Since Andrew, the garage doors, I said they have hurricane or wind bracing on the doors.
Wow.
So all those things have really done a tremendous job of strengthening houses.
Yeah. Do you have your own, does On Top of the World have your own like emergency responders and the personnel who, if you needed help, do they come from within the community or
there is a CERT program, which I don't know. I think CERT's everywhere, but we have our own On Top of the World residents are part of it. It's coordinated with Marion County.
Okay.
And they're activated. I didn't really pay attention too closely what they did this year.
I wonder how many calls they had, that kind of thing.
I don't know
during the storm. Oh wow!
But our immediate reaction inside the community was once the winds died down, our staff was in place to start clearing roads. And once we have the roads clear, because obviously emergency management, you want to be able to get people that are injured. You want to be able to make sure ambulances and fire trucks could get in. So the roads were cleared, and then we began the process on. I was out there Monday, but on Tuesday, starting to really clean up. And
so, tell me about the landscaping policies. Did that attribute or contribute to the minimal damage in the landscaping? The trees that fell into the roadway, was it a lot better than it might have been?
I think so. I think if you look at where residents were putting, when they we put our own policies of, here's the canopy tree you get, here's the landscape package you get, and then some of the residents put their own stuff in there. Some of those things were back there behind the houses, and there were large trees that grew up over the years.
Right.
And we didn't put trees in the backyard, but some residents did, and over the time, those got really big, the big oak trees. And we still have a major outage inside on Top of the World right now. I think it may be cleared up by now, but they were working on it late last night and this morning. But there was a big tree that dropped on a power line.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
But we have, talking about just landscaping, we have the homeowners association there has really strict rules on how many lawn ornaments you can put out, and the reason for that is really simple. You have a big storm coming.
Yeah,
if you
those things fly. Yeah,
right. You don't want the pink flamingos out there, but if you've got all kinds of pots and all kinds of gnomes and stuff, it takes a lot of time to clean it up. And if people are out of town or they flee and they leave it behind, those become deadly missiles. So
we had some pig lawn ornaments that we were thinking about attaching to a kite, just so we could say we saw pigs fly.
That'd be great.
We were thinking about doing that.
That'd be great.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. I mean, and how many people in your immediate family? How many people live in your home?
There's 5 of us.
5 of you. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you scared?
I got this is the first time I got scared. I mean, maybe it's because it's the first time the hurricanes come through and I owned a house and had children.
Yeah, maybe.
And it was a little more intimidating. All my kids slept in our room with us. They either slept in the bed or we had.
Did they sleep through it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they did.
And
okay.
I would say my youngest son, he's 6, and he probably has the honor of being the only person in Florida to have slept through an earthquake. He was in Chile this summer when they had an earthquake.
Oh no!
And right near the epicenter.
And he slept through it.
He slept right through it because I called him in the morning and said, "How are you? How was the earthquake?" And he said, "What earthquake?"
Oh no!
And he slept through the hurricane too. So.
Oh my gosh!
That's a great thing to be telling us when he gets older. He'll be telling that story. Yeah. Oh, I just sleep through those things.
Sure.
You have swimming pools there, and you have separate lots for the RVs and things. Mm-hmm. How did they fare out?
I drove by all that, and you wouldn't have even known there was anything wrong.
Wow!
It was really quite amazing. But those RV lots were not near trees, and so with the trees are what caused most of the damage.
Yeah.
We had big winds, but so much of it is built to handle those kind of what I don't know what our total wind code or what our wind speeds were that we reached.
Yeah.
I know they were hurricanes, but they weren't the
113. Somebody told me 113.
Yeah, wind gusts probably. Now I'll tell you, Shalom Park got hammered. And
what happened there? What happened?
We have down trees everywhere. We have the formal garden with.
There's a lot of trees there.
Right. There are a lot of trees, but we got the formal garden that goes around. A lot of the fencing. Some of the fencing got knocked down by big pine trees, so that's going to be a big cleanup effort, and they're in process. We've got the park closed until at least Monday.
How about the gazebo area?
The buildings were fine.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, the trees fall around those.
Yeah.
And those trees are beautiful out there.
Yeah.
In Shalom Park,
it's really,
they're absolutely gorgeous.
Right. A couple of the hickories went down, and that's a shame. It's really sad to see that.
Wow.
Oh my.
I'm glad it's over. So you're still doing cleanup right now, right?
It's going to be a long cleanup process. But I'll tell you, one of the most beautiful things that I saw yesterday driving around was watching not just people out cleaning their yards and raking and really getting involved. It was the neighbors helping each other. It was husbands and wives out there putting the lamp posts back together. It was so much of that community spirit. That's awesome. Was really beautiful. I mean, you see that. You see it after 9/11. You see this, but then to see it firsthand in a place like this right here at home, it was really very moving.
The fact, by the way, that the hurricane happened on 9/11 was a little bit disconcerting.
Yeah, I think. It's just a coincidence.
One of those things you have. It's Robin's birthday too, by the way, on September 11th. Yeah. So she has some memorable birthdays.
Yeah, time to bring people together. Maybe it's something. Maybe something's there for it.
Yeah. We're not up against a break. Gosh. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad everybody in your family is okay. Robin lives near you, not in on top of the world, but just like half a mile away, maybe?
Yes.
Maybe. And so she spent the night here. This was a shelter for her. But mostly, in her case, probably to be on the radio to talk to the listeners. So
right.
we were getting information regularly, and we were getting it out there. And fortunately for us, the mall stayed on, and so did the electricity at the transmitter site.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on, and of course, it did go out eventually later on when the storm was basically done. But then we were on a backup system, which we're still on right now, as a matter of fact. So when we went back to Robin's place, we didn't know what to expect. And the closer we got to the top of the world, the less the damage seemed to be.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of my neighbor, when I was talking to my neighbors in the morning, he was watching it all through the night, and he said the storm kind of came, he was whipping around to 75 and then stopped, and it came on the other side towards Crystal River and Dunellen, and then it just left our side of town, basically untouched. I don't know if that's what really happened.
I wonder,
it felt like that.
I wonder how you would know that. I mean, with a tornado, you could know that. Sure. By the way, nobody has said this, but I think some tornadoes must have touched down, even if they were small.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because right here in the parking lot at the mall, there was nothing like right here right where we're sitting. But if you just drove to the end of the parking lot, trees were down everywhere. So it's like something must have went through that area. And I'm thinking maybe an undetectable or undiagnosable tornado. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And how did Indigo East fare? Because that's your new addition.
Right. Indigo is in great shape. The hospice house was unaffected. It's funny because we were driving around looking at these houses that were under new construction, even houses that didn't have roofs on it. They just had the tar paper down for the roof, the dry-in. Some of that wasn't even torn. And I'm like,
really?
How is it even possible?
That's weird.
You have shingles at some house a couple blocks away where some of the ridge cap blew off, but this house didn't have it. So even at the hospice house that we're building, that was left untouched.
Well, how done is it? Like for example, there's a business going up near you. And all that's up is the beams, the 2x4s.
Yeah.
Right near the Lowe's.
And it's still standing.
Yeah, they were working on it this morning.
Isn't that something? Wow. Who knows? All right, we'll take a little break. Robert Colin is here. The phone lines are not operational, so we won't be able to do phone calls. But thank you for listening. And we do have information later on regarding the power outages and the school closings and other information from FEMA that we want to make sure to share with you again. So we'll be right back with Robert after this.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87 to 91. For Wednesday night, maybe an evening shower or thunderstorm, otherwise partly cloudy, though 70 inland, 76 at the coast. Times of sun and clouds on Thursday with a shower or thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. For Friday, sun and clouds with a thunderstorm or two, especially during the afternoon hours, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck, back pain, or tennis elbow and would like to learn how to get out of pain, go to Regenetic.com. Then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to the people that give you the regenerative medical solutions to your pain. Regenetic, first and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source, Regenetic.com.
Langley Health Services, located at 7205 Southeast Merricamp Road in Ocala, is a federally qualified health center offering family practice, pediatrics, podiatry, dental, behavioral health, and radiology services. Most insurance accepted, sliding scale for those who qualify, and same-day appointments available until 4 p.m. with board-certified family practice and internal medicine physicians on staff. Langley Health Services, call today 352-680-7000. What do I do now?
After 911, don't worry, call Fakuri. Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic, treating auto injuries for over 32 years. Same-day appointments, immediate medical attention, all under one roof. Don't worry, call Fakuri. Go to bestinjurycare.com. All auto insurances are accepted. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call. Car accident? Don't worry, call Fakuri. bestinjurycare.com.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. And now, 3 rooms for just $99. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com.
Ocala Eye is the largest, most experienced eye care center in North Central Florida. Tuesday at 10:30, Zora Harrison and Adam Tenza will be our guests, bringing us up to date on the latest optical and other innovations in the industry. For over 40 years, Ocala Eye has provided comprehensive medical and surgical eye care. But that's just the beginning. Just wait until you hear all of the exciting things coming our way. So be sure to listen Tuesday at 10:30 with Ocala Eye, helping you live life to the fullest. All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Robert Colin is in the studio from On Top of the World. Let me ask you something, Robert, just real quick, from taking away from separating our conversation from the hurricane talk. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Could anybody just take a tour? Like, I know it's a gated community, but let's say I've heard about On Top of the World and I'm interested in it. Do I need to make an appointment? How do I take a tour of the neighborhoods, of the actual?
Well, you go to sales office and they have tours that they do.
So you just call up and say, I've heard a lot about this place.
Right.
And do a lot of people do that?
Sure, and they just show up at the sales office, which is right off of 8447 Southwest 99th Street Road. Yeah, right behind, there's the Winn-Dixie on 200. It's kind of right behind there.
Because if you went online, you could see the homes, you could see they're beautiful, and you don't need to really, I guess it's good to walk through a house to see it, but you pretty much get an idea. But it's the neighborhoods, and it's the amenities that I think you would kind of want to see for yourself.
Sure, I think especially with the Lodge, which is a brand new clubhouse we have in Candler Hills, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's 20,000 square feet with a resort style pool and just a huge club, a big area for events to happen. And
that lady you had in here, she was outstanding.
Cami,
yeah,
Cami Dennis, our fitness director, she's amazing. Right?
Yeah. Do you go to her classes?
I have.
Yeah.
Not in a long time.
How long does it take to revamp the golf course when the trees fall and hit
they're going to be open probably, they'll be open, I think, this weekend.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't a whole lot of damage, just the trees, but they're going to clear those off. And, of course, you can leave the tree there, right? It's a bunker or some kind of hazard.
That's true. That's part of the game.
As long as the greens are clear, play ball. So.
All right, so tell me about the house. We were talking about this last time you were here. You could buy a house, win a house, buying a $100 raffle ticket. When is the drawing?
The drawing is on November 2nd.
Okay.
And they'll stop selling tickets on October 31st.
Okay.
And what this is On Top of the World in coordination with several sponsors, a couple sponsors. We are building a house that we will sell. We're selling raffle tickets for, and all of the proceeds, every single dollar of it, will go to Hospice of Marion County. And what it is, it's basically a $240,000 house, 1,734 square feet, with all the upgrades that you can get inside on Indigo East or in Indigo Community, which is off of Southwest 80th Avenue, just north of 200. And it's a beautiful house. It's going to be a beautiful location, but you'll have the chance for a $100 ticket, which is just a donation to hospice, really. But with that $100 donation, you're getting a chance to win a house, and that's pretty amazing.
If you've never had a person that you care about that needed hospice care, you really don't know what they do.
Right.
And that's not to call anybody ignorant. I didn't know what they did until my dad needed them, and they were so good. I don't know how, as a family, we would have handled it. They handled my mother, too. Yeah,
right. And they really try to give people dignity in those last days, because it's, they go through a lot. You suffer a lot.
That is a great word. Yeah. That is such a great word, because there were my father was a proud man. He was a police officer. He was a veteran from the World War II. And now toward the end of his life, he's got no voice. He's got no control of his bowels. And it's so, and his brain was there. His mind was still there.
Yeah.
So how humiliating must it have been for him to know that we had to do those things for him.
Right.
When hospice came in, it was probably a comfort for him.
And hospice has all these volunteers that they don't get paid. They just come out and they sit with people who don't want to be alone, or they don't want to be alone. And it's what they do for people, not just on the medical care, but on just caring for people.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, and they need to be honored, and that's why we wanted to spearhead this effort.
And I'm so glad. And here's why. And you know what? I should buy a ticket just because I owe them. because what they gave me, I never paid them for.
Well, if you want to get a ticket, it's homefreeprize.com.
I might do this, Robert.
Or I think Hospice has tickets as well. And topoftheworld.com has tickets available. So there's a lot of places.
Every holiday season they sell ornaments, tree ornaments here in the mall, and I always get one from them.
Okay.
But that's $5.
Right.
That's not. I'm not giving much back, so. Wow, that's wonderful. If I win the house, what am I going to do with the house?
Sell it or rent it.
Have you ever had somebody buy a raffle ticket that doesn't actually want to win?
My dad.
Oh, he bought one?
He bought tickets because, but if he wins, he can't take it. So,
So we go to homefreeprize.com, and can I do it with my card, my debit card?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't look, but I'm sure if you can, if you're doing it online, you can get it with your debit card.
Should I do this?
Of course you
Can
should.
I check mark the thing that says if I win I don't want it?
Well, I think you should take it. I think it'd be great if you won.
Oh my gosh.
Did you have any extra things come into the community, like bottled water shipments and ice and things like that?
We didn't do anything. Our main goal was just getting prepared for dealing with the storm and preparing for it, and then also dealing with the aftermath, which I said is to immediately have the roads cleared. So our focus. From the owners association's focus was making sure everything was fueled up, getting all the tractors in place, all the everything in place that would be needed to move stuff off the roads and get things off of people's houses. And so once the storm was cleared on Monday afternoon, we had some staff in place that was already cutting everything. Even my cousin Ken, who's the president of the company, was out there cutting
Wow.
trees around. And
Nice.
Well, your father left some legacy, didn't he?
well, my uncle actually.
Oh, uncle, okay,
Sydney was
okay.
my uncle. So, and then Ken, my cousin, he's out there, physically doing work.
It's
So-
amazing. When the plan was made for On Top of the World,
Yeah.
were storms like hurricanes kind of factored in? Was that a thought about?
Well, I can tell you that I don't know if from the construction side it was factored in. What it was factored in was the fact that you're away from the coast. So if a big storm does come through,
Just a location, yeah.
just location.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Sidney Colin, who was the one who founded On Top of the World, he was thinking about everything, always thinking, and he had trouble sleeping at night because he was constantly thinking. But he was out. He traveled the world looking for a place to build a community like On Top of the World, and then he settled here in Marion County.
Is it large enough that you actually have a lake with fish in it? Do you have any?
We don't have a lake. We
You
don't
don't?
have any water on property, which means we don't have flooding.
Well, I was wondering if you had any temporary lakes, because we got a temporary lake on the other side of the mall here.
With the retention ponds, there's quite a few of them that have a lot of
okay,
water, and some
yeah.
of the golf course areas have a lot of water.
Yeah.
Well, the residents are very lucky to have you there, because I'm sure that with all the preparation you were doing, that gave them great comfort knowing that they would be safe and taken care of.
Well, thank you. I think that it's the team that really does it. Our general manager, Lynette Vermillion, our marketing people, Linda Mozzarella, and all those people that really get the word out and get the preparation going. And all the staff all the way through really are the ones who do
We
it.
had the opportunity to kind of see it a little bit. We helped a lady and her husband move into Top of the World a few years ago. She's blind, by the way. I don't know if do you know Marilyn Womble? Do you know Marilyn?
No, I don't.
Well, she started the Florida Center for the Blind.
Okay, well.
And she and her husband Jack moved, and they asked Robert and I to help them move, and we did. And so we got to kind of see it a little bit and see what the inside of the homes look like. It was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
First thing you think is, I should live here. I like the idea that, I don't think at the time I was eligible. You have to be 55, right?
55.
So now I'm eligible.
Okay.
You
Back
are.
then, back then I couldn't. I'm over eligible.
That's right.
Well, it's great. If you don't want to cut the grass, we have neighborhoods where
You're
we
not
still maintain-
eligible. You don't live there.
No, I don't live there. I don't. Yeah,
They should allow you to live there.
no.
I mean,
I have young kids. Why would the people want to live near my kids?
I love kids.
Yeah.
I would have no problem with kids being in my neighborhood. I love it when I see kids outside on bicycles. and
There's
stuff.
always the fear that my kids run around a lot, so you don't want them running near somebody who they can knock down and really
somebody who
cause injury.
doesn't like it. I know.
And I wouldn't want that either. I wouldn't want the stress of having to worry about somebody else getting hurt.
But if you ever build a section that says kids are allowed,
Well, we will be eventually, and I think it's 2019 we'll start. It's the community. It'll be across from Westport High School.
Oh, okay.
It's called Earl now. I can't think of what the name is.
Oh, wow.
What they're going to change the name to. The property is called Earl, but
really?
and that'll be open to multifamily, and it'll be designed for
Oh, okay.
everybody.
So not connected at all to
It'll be-
physically connected. I mean,
Right. It's up. Southwest 80th Avenue, right at 38th Street, right across from Westport High School.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, and that'll be, we're in this process of designing what the community is going to look like, what the roads are going to look like. So it's going to come along very soon.
You're a
That's
great
really
guest.
amazing.
You have a great demeanor, a great gentle way of, and a complete way of describing what needs to be described.
Thank you.
So let's see. At Top of the World did okay through the storm.
Right, we did great.
That's knock on wood, and hope that does I show I'm superstitious when I say stuff like that? I kind of am. I always say I'm not superstitious, but then I'll say things like knock on wood.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I think you look throughout the state, and other than some houses that were flooded, you don't see the devastation that you saw from Andrew, where the roofs were blown off.
Right. No,
houses
absolutely.
collapsed. So it really was.
So those new codes you talked about probably made a
New
big
building
difference.
codes really made a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we were up against the break here. I know some of you were trying to call in. I could see it, but I can't do it. We don't have the thing set up right now. So you would need to call Top of the World if you want to find out about the raffle for the home.
Right.
Be sure to tune in to hear
What happened there? All right. So, you go to homefreeprize.com, and for Top of the World information,
On topoftheworld.com.
easy enough. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
That was fun.
See you next week.
Thank you, and we will be right back.
1370 WOCA.
In a home in Orlando, also involving a generator.
Was running inside the house at some point, either during the night or during the day.
Orange County, Florida Sheriff spokesman Jeff Williams. The other 4 people are in the hospital. A deputy was also overcome by fumes.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown. More than 5 million in Florida have no power.
We expect to have essentially all of our customers along the eastern coast of Florida